You ever get back from an amazing trip, you're all excited to look through your photos, and then you scroll through and just feel kind of let down? Like the pictures just don't capture the magic you actually felt? Well, we are about to change all of that. This isn't just about taking better pictures. It's about transforming your travel photos into incredible visual stories that you'll want to look at again and again. Look, we've all taken the photo on the left. It's the snapshot. It's that classic I was here shot, you know? It proves you visited. But then, look over at the right, the story. This image doesn't just show you place, it makes you feel something. There's emotion, there's a moment, it just pulls you right in. And that powerful difference is exactly what we're going to dig into. So how do we make that leap from snapshot to story? Well, here's our game plan. We're going to break it down into 4 key parts. First, we're moving beyond the postcard shot. Then, we'll get into the storyteller's mindset. After that, we'll dive into mastering the visual craft. And finally, we'll wrap up with connecting and sharing your story to make it all hit home.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Beyond the Postcard Shot. This is really the foundation for everything else. It's about changing our whole goal. We're not just documenting landmarks anymore. We're trying to weave these rich stories that really get to the heart and soul of a place.
You know, this quote from our source material just says it all, doesn't it? It's our mission statement. It's not just about what you see, it's about the feeling, the energy, the hidden stories that make a place what it is. This right here, this is going to be our guide.
And that idea flows perfectly into our second section, the storyteller's mindset. Because before we even think about cameras or lenses, we have to talk about the most powerful tool we have, our perspective. It's all about how we decide to see the world around us.
A storyteller's mindset really begins when you learn to embrace the unscripted. It's so tempting to make a checklist of all the famous spots you want to hit. But the source material reminds us that the really powerful images, the ones with soul, they come from those spontaneous moments you could never plan for. The real skill is just being present, being ready, and being open to that unexpected magic.
Of course, capturing these moments also comes with a big responsibility. This ethical checklist, it's totally non-negotiable. Before you even pack your bags, do some research on local customs. When you're there, on the ground, always ask for permission before taking someone's photo. And when you share your work, do it with a ton of respect for the people and cultures you were lucky enough to experience.
And finally, a storyteller's mindset is a growth mindset. Photography is a journey, not a destination. You gotta stay curious, right? Go to workshops to pick up new skills, talk with other photographers to see new perspectives, and always be willing to get feedback. That's how we really truly get better at our craft.
Okay, so we've got the right mindset locked in. Now let's talk about the how-to. Section 3 is all about mastering the visual craft. These are the technical skills that are going to let you take that story that's in your head and turn it into a powerful image that people can actually see.
First things first, let's talk about light. As you can see from this chart, light is, well, it's everything. That harsh light in the middle of the day, it tends to make images look kind of flat and creates these really hard shadows. But during the golden hours, that magical time right after sunrise and just before sunset, the light is soft, it's warm, it's dimensional, it just adds this incredible mood and texture to your photos. It's a total game changer.
And yeah, those big, epic landscapes are awesome, for sure. But don't forget to get in close. So often, the real character of a place is hiding in the little things, the texture of an old doorway, the beautiful pattern on a rug, or the detailed work of a local artist. These are the details that tell a much deeper, more intimate story.
And who says a photograph has to be perfectly frozen in time? By using a slower shutter speed, which basically just means you're leaving your camera's eye open for a little bit longer, you can capture movement in a really beautiful way. This can turn a kind of boring, static image into something full of energy, showing the blur of a crowded market or giving a waterfall that silky, flowing look.
So you've got the mindset, you're honing your craft. Our last section is where we bring it all home. It's all about connecting with your subject and then sharing that story in a way that actually resonates with other people.
You know, the most authentic photos usually come from the most authentic connections. Don't just be a fly on the wall, get involved. Try to learn a few basic phrases in the local language, be open to joining in on community events, and just work on building a real rapport. When you do that, it can open up doors to these incredible, respectful photo opportunities you would have totally missed otherwise.
Now, a quick word about gear, because people can get really hung up on this. When you're traveling, less is almost always more. The goal is to travel light but smart. You don't need every single gadget. You just need the right things for your style. Maybe a versatile lens or two, a lightweight tripod for those cool motion shots, and some basic gear to protect your camera. That's usually all it takes. And remember, the storytelling doesn't just stop when you put the camera away. Think of editing not as fixing your photos, but as the final brushstroke on your masterpiece. It's that last step in crafting the story where you can really enhance the mood and dial in the emotion of the image. And here is a perfect example of what I mean. On the left, you've got the raw moment, straight out of the camera. It's a nice shot. It's fine. But on the right, that's the finished story. With just a few thoughtful tweaks to the light and the color, the whole mood is amplified. Your eye knows exactly where to look, and the story just becomes so much clearer and, honestly, way more powerful.
And please, don't let the story end with just the image itself. Share the context. Tell people what was happening just outside the frame. How did you feel in that moment? What did the air smell like? Keeping a little travel journal or a blog to go along with your photos can build such a deeper, more meaningful connection with the people who see your work.
If you take away just one single thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this. This is the whole philosophy in a nutshell. Don't just show people what you saw. Share the stories that you found along the way.
So the next time you pick up your camera, it doesn't matter if you're halfway across the world or just in your own backyard. Remember this, you're not just a photographer, you're a storyteller. So the only real question left is, what story will you tell?